Hi, it's Juha. So you bought your first fall kite and you go to the water and you realize that it doesn't fly well. This has happened to, I'm sure, to everyone who uses used fall kites, and even though you buy new fall kites, it's gonna get some problems if you use it a lot. So here's a video to get rid of most of the problems with used foil kites, and this works also if the problem is asymmetric. For example, that when you have the kite in the zenith, it always wants to turn to the other side. This is a complex fix, so for specific problems there's always fixes that are faster. However, it can be that when you try these fast fixes, if you're not experienced, you need to do them many times and many incremental fixes. And if you calculate all the time it takes to do all the fixes, usually it can last pretty long time. So if you just follow these instructions, 99% of all the problems that foil kites have will be eliminated. There's few things you need to have to do these fixes. First, you need line plans. Unfortunately, only a couple companies give this. Flysurfer gives line plans. Ozone gives line plans. Some small companies like Lekka Minima gives line plans. And for us customers, I think it would be smart to try to support these companies that give these plans. These plans are hugely important if you break bridles, so you can splice your own the right length. It's easy when you know how long it should be. It's impossible if you don't know how long. Okay, let's get on with this. We have a lot to cover. Okay, here I have the line plan of the flysurfer Sonic, and you can see here how all the bridles are arranged, and you can also see the length of each line. So what you need to do is you need to look at the line plan, and you need to measure the length of the bridle from all the way from the mixer. So you need to calculate this AI plus big A1 plus small A1. And you need to do this for every line if you want to do the complete fix. And after you've measured all these measurements, you need to put them to a spreadsheet, which I have here. And when you have all the measurements here, you need to calculate the differences between the A, B, Z and break lines. So you go to the, for example, the first line. So now we are here, and we can see that the A1 compared to B1, the B1 is 10 millimeters shorter. The Z1 is 3 centimeters longer than the A line, and the break line is 21 or 22 centimeters longer than the A line. So now you know how to tune your mixer. You go to the A line, and first thing you do is you measure the difference between the A and B1, the A and C1, and then you will move this knot closer to the pulley. The amount you need to lengthen the C line. Usually the B and C lines are shorter than they should be, so you need to lengthen them. So you lengthen the C line for maybe few centimeters, so that the difference here goes to the same that your spreadsheet shows. After that, you check the A and B line, and then you either lengthen or shorten this. When you shorten this pulley here, it also lengthens this. When you lengthen the Z line, you also from here you also lengthen the B line, so it can be pretty close already. but you can fine tune it with this knot here. After you've done that, the last thing you need to do is to measure the difference between A1 and brake 1. And here, the only way to lengthen this is to put a pigtail here. And the pigtail, I usually do so that I splice the other end as a fixed loop. And then I just have a line with lots of knots, so I can fine tune it. This is one option. The other option is to just measure the difference and measure how much longer this should be, and then splice a nice clean line that's the right length here. After you have corrected the A line, this is a good point to try the kite. If the kite flies perfect, you're done. If the problems with the kite are symmetrical, most often if you just fix the line 1, you fix enough all the other lines that it's close enough to original shape that you're happy. However, the older the kite, usually it happens show that these lines shorten the most and these lines shorten the least. So usually if you fix this, you lengthen the B and C lines a bit too much here. So to get it absolutely perfect, what you do then is you just measure all the differences in every knot point, and you just correct the length of the B and C lines by making simple knot loops to the connection point. So if you have fixed this with the mixer, usually here you need to shorten these lines by a little, because the changes are in the A1 usually the biggest. So if you correct the biggest problems, here the problems were a little less, so now you have overcorrected. So you just make simple line loops which will shorten the bridle with 1 cm to 1.5 cm. So you just, with simple line loops, you can correct them close to the original length. And of course you need to do this both sides. I've done many kites this way. As long as you have line plans and you do this carefully, this is usually the best way to fix the kite. Problem is that it takes time. It takes 1 to 2 hours to go over the whole kite. Okay, that's all. For specific problems, if your tips are tucking, usually shortening the B and C right on the edge will fix it. If your kite flies low, lengthening the brake line is usually the right answer. If your kite is very unstable, you can shorten the B and C lines. If your kite has poor D-power, you can lengthen the B and C lines. If you have some questions, leave comments. If you have some other pro tips, you can leave comments too. Thanks. Have fun on the water. See ya.